So typically when I'm browsing the web, I come across interesting tools, whether it's resources or SaaS tools that I want to kind of save, bookmark, and remember them for the future. I like putting them in my Airtable database where I can give it a name, I can store the URL, I can give it a category so I can eventually group or filter by any of these categories. I like typing out my own description of what I believe this is useful for or what it is, and then the website description, like just kind of sort of like the marketing description that the website gives it so that I can have that as well. And then I like to categorize it by typo. So like, is it a SaaS tool? Is it an example that I should refer back to? Is it a resource and so forth? Now, how do I get all this data in here as I'm browsing the web, looking at different tools? People send me stuff. I'm looking at it. How do I get it in here without having to, constantly go back and forth, copy paste from the website, the name, the category, the description, and so forth? Well, I use a simple tool called Ply, and I'll show you how it works. Basically, when I find, let's say I'm taking a look at this website and I want to add it to my Airtable database of resources, simply highlight this text. I hit Command-Shift-J on my keyboard, and then I have this little pop-up over here powered by Ply, which is coming from the Chrome extension. And I have this option of Add to Airtable. And if you see over here, the automation is running real quick. And then I just type in the name, I type in the description, and I give it a category. And that's it. I hit done. That's all I have to do. And as you'll see over here, at the speed of light, this new tool is already in here with all the information pre-populated. The website's here, the categories here, and so forth. Well, how does this work? How did I set this up? Well, the truth is that I used to have the Airtable web clipper. And the way that works is it's actually an extension on your base. I set up this Airtable base with all the specific field types and data that I want to track on each of these resources. And then I had a web clipper, which was a Chrome extension that fed, and the Chrome extension was mapped. So I set up the different fields I want to collect. It was mapped to these fields. And as I was browsing, I was able to just click on the Chrome extension from Airtable and it would add it in here. And the challenge is that, I'm still using Airtable preliminary. I'm still getting up and running on it. So I'm not yet a paid member of Airtable. And their web clipper is considered a extension, and extensions don't work on the free plan. And so when I was on a trial, that worked. But as soon as my trial expired, I can't use the Airtable web clipper. So what did I do? Well, instead of upgrading to an Airtable paid account just for this web clipper, I used Ply. Ply is an amazing tool. This is very, very, at the surface level of what's possible, is barely scratching the surface level. It's, Ply can really do very advanced automation and internal tooling, but I'll show you how, simply within 5 minutes, I set this up, and you can set this up as well. So this applies a Chrome extension on my browser. It's also connected via API to various different tools, including Airtable. And so the way this works is I set up the, kind of the trigger. So the trigger is a command bar. So I trigger this by hitting Command-Shift-J. That's obviously customizable. I give it an icon. I gave it a name so I can recognize it when I trigger it. The next step is I asked it to get the table's fields. And so basically I mapped it to this table and this base in Airtable. So I'm saying grab the resources base, and within that base, grab the resources table and look at the field types. So basically what I'm telling Ply is like, understand that I'm typically trying to fill out name, I'm trying to fill out URL, category, here are the options, and so forth, so that Ply can display that to me and allow me to map data to it. The next stage is interface. So interface basically brings up a modal where, if you take a look over here, so name I get to fill out, it's just a text box. Description I get to fill out, it's a text box. This is a drop down, and these are the options that are coming from Airtable. So if I add more options in Airtable, they automatically populate over here. And again, this is coming in here because I have the get tables field. So it's constantly looking at, hey, what's the structure in Airtable, and it's mapping it to here. I can even show you kind of the back end. So if I click on category, you'll see that the options are coming from a table and it's mapped to the Airtable, and it's doing it's mapping name, and I'm allowing it to multiple select. SaaS, same concept. It's getting the source is table. It's getting the items from Airtable, and it's pre-selected to SaaS because that's most of the items that I typically add. And so it's pre-selected, but I can always change it as I'm adding it. URL is a URL field. However, it's pre-filled I was able to pre-fill it from the URL page that I'm on. So at any given time, it grabs the URL. This is just an example, obviously, to run the data. Website description comes from selected text. So again, if say I'm on this website, which is the beautiful Apply website on the front end, if I select text and I hit Command-Shift-J, the modal pops up. I hit, I want to use the Add to Airtable feature. This is the interface we're talking about. And as you can tell, this is pre-populated because it's pre-selected. This is pre-populated because that's the website that we're on. So it's grabbing it from the URL in the browser. And the website description is also pre-populated because that's the text that I highlighted. So all that's left for me to fill out is quickly type out name, description, and give it a category. Again, so coming back to Apply, that's kind of how I set up this modal. And then the last and final step after this modal is create record. So in create record, I'm mapping it to resources and the resources base, and within the resources base, I'm mapping it to the table. And then basically I'm taking all the values and I'm mapping them to the appropriate field. So URL from interface is being mapped to URL in resources. The category in interface is being mapped to the category in Airtable, so on and so forth. And that's it. That's the end of the feature. And then you hit publish. So it's literally as simple as that. And you end up with a tool in your command bar where you basically can browse any website. I can select the text, hit Command-Shift-J, add to Airtable, and all I got to do is fill out the name, SUP, and type out a description, give it a category. So let's say I'm going to call it, this is going to be the following categories, and that's it. And then as soon as I go into my Airtable, there it is. So it's already here. All the information is already there. And that's all that's left for me to do. So either way, should be pretty simple. Let me know if you have questions. Apply, again, super powerful tool. This is just a very, scratching the surface of what it can do. I mean, imagine the possibilities. It can also have buttons in your like I can start this workflow from Airtable technically if I had a reverse workflow. So I can have a button within my Airtable that would trigger some sort of workflow. So yeah, really, really cool tool. I've been playing with a lot and helps me a lot within my workflow. And I hope this has been valuable to you.